Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I did notice that I am very close to 100 subscribers, and I am so very excited for that. A lot of people have subscribed in the last week or so. My channel has grown more than, or faster than it has pretty much this entire year, so I just want to welcome each and every one of you. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch any of my videos. I can't believe that we are at 100 subscribers, almost. I think the last I checked it was 97. So I'm very excited for that. Right now, this kind of series we're doing is setting up my 2024 budget. And I've just got my papers clipped in the back of my, and I'll show you what I got here, my Erin Condren monthly planner. And I've mentioned this in my other videos, you can get extra pages in the back. I forgot, so I'm just clipping them back here. I did have a viewer say that Erin Condren makes little clips that you can clip onto the spiral here and clip your paper in so it would, flip like everything else. But for right now, I'm just gonna clip it back here. It doesn't really bother me. I don't plan to, use these a lot. It's just pretty much next year I will refer back and kind of compare 2024 to the next year. I just kind of like to have a view of how my year went so I can compare each year and hopefully get better and better each year with my budget. But so far I have set up my actual yearly budget, my sinking funds, and today we are going to, I'll just set this over here. Today we are going to set up emergency funds. Now, I've always heard, you need to have an emergency fund. I think that may be a Dave Ramsey thing. I don't know. I don't do Dave Ramsey. A couple of years ago, I did read his book. But I've always heard people talk about you need an emergency fund. And I do agree. But I never knew how much to put in it. How much is a good amount for an emergency? So I have this little tracker here. And it's going to help us come up with a number for how much I use in a month, every 3 months, 6 months, and a year. And this is going to be just the basics. If something happened, how much money would I or would my family need to make it from month to month? Just, pretty much your food, water, shelter, just the basics. Nothing extra here. Sometimes we can't afford extra, and that's okay. A couple of years back, I was actually pregnant with my fourth child. It was November, and right here before Christmas, I had 3 little ones at home waiting for Christmas, and my husband came home early one day. He was the only one working. He's always, I've always been a stay-at-home mom, and he got laid off. They did a massive layoff in the plant that he worked at, and he was one of the ones that got laid off. At that time, I did not have an emergency fund. I did not have savings. It was kind of rough. And the only reason at that time we were able to make it until he could find another job, which took a couple of months, jobs were very hard to find at that time, was because they gave him a little package. Depending on how many years you had been there, you got a certain percentage of money or something. So that got us through until he found his next job, because he had been there, I want to say, almost 10 years. So he did get some money for that, and that got us through Christmas and until he found his next job. But how good would it have been if I had had an emergency fund? Back then, I don't even believe I was budgeting at all. We were just kind of winging it back then. But, so, I have a little note over here so I don't miss anything. I'm just going to go through here and I'm going to list just the things that we have to have from month to month. We would have to pay our mortgage. Okay, these are have-tos. At this time, I consider a cell phone a have-to. We don't really have house phones anymore. Everybody has a cell phone. Internet, that's kind of a have-to because my son, I have 2 boys that homeschool, so they'd have to still do their work. Electric bill, the gas, natural gas that we would heat our house with, water, gas for our car, we would need grocery money, I'm leaving in a miscellaneous because it does seem like, there's something that pops up that you need to do. Even in hard times, there are things that would pop up. So I'm leaving a miscellaneous. Then taxes. This is like yearly taxes on our car. I say car, but it's an SUV, a truck. I included my husband's motorcycle in here. He would probably say it's a have to, but if it really came down to it, you could, take some cars off the road if it got to that point. But just to make it easy, I included, everything in one figure. And then we would have the insurance on our vehicles. Okay, so there are definitely other categories that we have month to month, but these are the basics, what we would have to live. Okay. Put my little ruler here because I can't write in a straight line to save my life. Okay, mortgage per month is $645. Cell phone, $60. Internet, $60. Electric, $195. Now, how did I get that number? I went back. I have my budgeting book from this year that we're currently in, 2023. I looked at my bill every month and I got an average number. Same thing with the gas and water bill. So if you haven't kept a budget, maybe you could go to your bank account, search for that bill, and for the past year, at least I can with my bank, and then you can maybe get an average there. Okay, gas was $48, water $28, gas in our cars $500, groceries $900, miscellaneous $40, tax $20, insurance $90. Okay. I'm going to skip a couple of lines in case I decide, to add something in. But at this point, this is all I can think of. And we will total this up. Go ahead and draw these lines in. Okay. When I add that up, I get $2,586. So, as a starting amount for an emergency fund, and no, I don't have an emergency fund, fully funded or anything like that, but an amount that I would start saving for would be, I'd probably just say $2,500 or $2,600. I like even numbers. So I would probably say, to start off with, I would need $2,600, and that would be for 1 month of expenses in my house. So now I am just going to multiply this amount, and I'll speed that up so y'all don't have to sit through it. But I'm going to multiply it for 3 months, 6 months, and then a year, and I'll be back and show you what that looks like. Okay, so here's all my numbers for 3 months, 6 months, and 1 year. If I total up 3 months, I get $7,758. 6 months, $15,516. And a year, $31,032. So, I also thought this was kind of neat just to get a view of, the numbers of what, is being spent on a yearly basis. For some people, they might look at that and think it's not a lot. Some people might look at it and think that it is. But it was kind of neat just to see those numbers. But like I said, this will give me an idea going forward this year. I do want to start, you know, some different savings, challenges and things, sinking funds. And now I have an idea of it, or at least a goal I could set myself of what I might need for an emergency fund, because I never really heard an actual number of, you know, what somebody should have. So for me, to cover my basics, this is what I would like to have. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I will have some more videos coming in this series. I have a bill tracker coming up, I think a debt tracker, savings tracker. All these stickers are from my Etsy shop. I will list them down below. I also have some things that I'm not going to put in my budget, like a net worth tracker, just some other stickers that you may be interested in putting in your budget. So if you want to give my shop, you know, if you want to check that out, I would really appreciate that. Once again, thank each and every one of you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope y'all have a great week. Bye!